Hi, I'm here with Melissa Porter, and I'm very excited for her to share with us about her exhibit, Sideshow, on exhibit now at Oric Gallery.
Thank you. I think I'm going to start this by saying, I'm originally from Detroit, and when I moved here about 4 years ago, I got the best advice from my financial advisor of all people. And, he speaks Melissa very well, especially for a financial advisor. And his advice to me, or what he asked me to do when I got here, and he said to me, Melissa, when you get to Colorado, make me a promise. Okay, right. And here I think it's going to be about my finances or money. And he's like, no, when you get to Colorado, make sure you let your freak flag fly so that the people that love you and want to know you can find you. And I just love that advice, and I've taken that to heart with this show. Mm-hmm. So for me, art has always been a way for me to process what's happening to me, to the outside world, and to make sense of it. And this show is no exception. And I think the difference in this show compared to the other shows that I've done is this one was so healing for me. It started off pretty angry, if I could be honest, right? I had these train cars that I had been gifted from my stepfather, who was, quite frankly, a hoarder. And when I saw these file drawers and flipped them on the side, to me, they reminded me of train cars. And that led me to all things childhood and circus train. And I thought, I'm gonna make a circus train out of these file drawers. Keeping in mind, this was years ago that he had given these to me, and he wasn't one to part easily with his treasures. So, and there's 16 cars or 16 drawers. And I really overthought this series so many times, and I would start it and then I'd stop, and I'd start it and I'd stop. And then when this opportunity came up, it was like, no, Melissa, you have to finish this train car. You just have to. And part of why I felt the need to finish it at this point is because I'm finding myself to be at a very transitional point in my life. I'm not where I used to be, and I'm not where I'm going. I'm somewhere in between. So I allowed myself to feel the anger that I felt from all things past. And that's where I started with the train. And the first couple of pieces that came out of that were the ringmaster. You might even call him the sleazy ringmaster. I won't name names, but this has a definite connection to somebody I used to know that had a huge influence in my life, and not in a positive way. From there, I went and created the tarot reader, who was based on a friend of mine who felt the need to tell stories that were not hers to tell. And she didn't have the facts straight, but she hid behind gossip and spewed it like she knew everything. So these two cars came first. And then I was like, I don't want to be this angry, and I don't want to do it this way anymore. And I don't even want to make the train anymore. And I had my little temper tantrum, and then I remembered, this is about me, and this is about having fun. And where I'm at right now is about healing my inner child and all things that are in the past. So for that one, I came up with this piece, which is when the story changes. And when you stop telling yourself the things that you've been told your whole life, this is who you are, this is your role, this is what you're supposed to be. And when you start to look at yourself differently, things change. Things change dramatically. And this was a lot of fun to make. I also realized probably about this point that I had outgrown the circus, and I didn't want to do it anymore. And, I had an older piece that I had made which was the dog and pony show that sold years ago. And I was thinking about this dog and pony and the show that they've put on, and this piece came out of it. And this is retirement. This is the dog and pony that had left the circus and the drama and all things chaotic just to go have a drink together. And I love this piece. This is probably one of my favorite pieces in the show because it's just really where I'm at right now. I just want to be at a place of peace, which then kind of takes us to this piece here, which was all fun, right? A lot of my work has big stories and symbolism behind it, and that's okay, but part of being a child and healing that is not assigning those kind of things to everything. So this piece is probably one of my favorite just because it's fun. The monkey in my world is one of my totem animals that a shaman had brought back for me when I had done a soul retrieval. And that's a reminder to play, because monkeys are playful. And the giraffe to me is my nephew, because when I came out to visit him, I don't know if you know, the Colorado Zoo has an amazing giraffe exhibit, and my young nephew and I went and we played. And that's what this piece is about. It's just about having fun and playing. Some of the other pieces get a little spicy, the dangling carrot. I just thought it was funny. There was a lot of laughter that came from this piece during the opening, which, standing in the corner and witnessing was just fun. The circus train that is the seal, that's a nod to all my friends, the ones that go and play with me. To me, the seal is just the sweetest, funnest, just playful. The tiger, that one's me. I don't know if you can tell, but she's actually leaning on a typewriter piece that has all the letters on it. Growing up, I was groomed to be a secretary. It was never an option for me to go to college or to have anything other than secretarial skills. So this is me being whipped into submission, which actually didn't work because I'm a lousy secretary. I admit it. I know this about myself. During the opening, there was a couple pieces that got a lot of feedback, so I want to talk about them. This particular piece got a lot of just laughter, and it's called Play, and it really is back to the whole idea of playing. And I'm currently in a relationship with a retired doctor, and he has said to me on a number of occasions, I don't know what ails you, but I know what the remedy is, and the remedy is always play. Right, so that's what this piece is. And for me, play is always hike. So it's like, okay, I don't know what's wrong with you. Put on your shoes, let's go. We're gonna go on a hike. And he's right. It always makes me feel better. It always brings me back to the grounding place that I really prefer to be at, and not the chaotic, dramatic circus that is all things that came before this. It's pretty much the show.
If you could pick, is that your favorite piece then, the dog and pony?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I really just like the calmness of it, and the encaustic that is what this is embedded in, encaustic wax. It just gives it a softness that I guess all the encaustic does, but that's what draws me to it. I don't want to be a hard and bitter and angry woman. I'm really looking at embracing my softer side, my feminine side, my playful side, the one that has taken me out of survival mode. It's kind of where I'm at right now. And this show is right where I'm at, right in the middle. Yeah. And it's 18 new pieces in the last 2 months that I've created, and it's still so new and raw. I don't know that I've had a chance to actually sit with a lot of it because I just did it and delivered it. And here it is. So.
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful and it's fun, and it's nice to hear your story behind the pieces, because even starting out of anger, I didn't, it's all fun. It didn't seem angry.
Yeah, I don't want to be angry anymore.
Yeah, let's not do that.
And I think that's why I, at some point, was like, I don't want to do the circus train anymore. But there's such a part of me that needed to finish it. I started it, even if it was just mental, I needed to finish it, I needed to put it out in the world, and I needed to let it go. So here it is, and I think a lot of it is dark humor. And if you've met my brother, you'd know we share the same. That's funny. Yeah. And other people go, that's not funny. That's really dramatic. I'm like, yeah, but I can see the humor.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks.
What's next? What do you have coming up next?
Ooh, that is a huge what next. This one came on the heels of another solo show so rapidly that I really haven't had time to think about what's next. I suppose there's a small part of me that wants to go back to my roots, and my roots is that of a photographer. My background in education is fine art photography, and when I was in college, I did a lot of self-portraits. And I think that might be what's next, just so I have a way to get some distance from where I'm at to actually look at who I am now, if that makes sense. And I think a self-portrait series might help me get more in touch with where I'm at right now, because I am very transitional right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I reserve the right to change my mind, though.
You do. You do. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.